And then for first place, drum roll. I'm not going to actually beat on my desk. There you go. Thank you. It could be none other than the motherfucking Villisca Axe Murderer House.
Wow.
Which was the worst, best, favorite, terrifying nightmare investigation. You know, we covered this in episode 16, right after the James Eldredge house, the nice, light James Eldredge house with that one grumpy guy in the basement, but those children singing to us and stuff. Yeah. The very next episode we did was inside the rental edition about the Villisca Axe Murder House.
That was fun, but not so much.
So it's a super famous story. Most people know it, but just in case you don't, the short end of the story is that an entire family and 2 overnight guests, so 2 adults and 6 children, were all murdered in their sleep, like brutally murdered, and they never solved the crime. So the house has basically been breathing evil ever since.
That is a very good way to put it.
Exactly. That's it. You have to experience it to understand how much that makes sense, that analogy right there. So for our investigation that night, sure, we heard footsteps. That was super cool. We maybe saw this or that. What's that? What's that? We hear this. And it seems like a pretty decent, chilled night for a while. Then the energy kind of changed.
Oh, yeah.
And then the back door opened and closed on its own. So this is awesome. You know, poltergeist activity. Cool, right? Little surprising. First time we've seen doors creak open, but not like this before.
Not like that.
And we actually sent the footage to the property manager, who is Johnny Hauser, or was Johnny Hauser at the time. And we asked him, you know, is this an ordinary thing for this door? Is a spring broke on it? Or is it super windy there and it always does this? And he watched the video, and he watched his own security video because they have cameras on the back door. And he said, no, this is strange.
Yeah. And it was very helpful of him to actually watch that video just to validate what we saw, and that there was also nobody there fucking with us.
Yes, because that was Chris's, well, it was both our first reaction, is that somebody is out there fucking with us, because people kept driving by throughout the night, stopping to take pictures in front of the house, and we were wondering how bold they would get. I mean, we're the type to walk up to a building and try to look into the windows, but not necessarily a place that we know rents out. And that there are cars in the driveway, you know what I mean? We wouldn't do that. But like abandoned properties, you know? Yeah. So we were highly concerned that it was somebody fucking with us. And then later we started like even coming up with crazier ideas. So it was great for him to show us the footage of from the outside, that nobody was there. And he said that he's never really seen it do that before.
No, and then there was no wind either that would just open it up with that amount of like ferocity. Like it just like slammed the door open.
That's the thing though. It didn't slam open, but it did open wide. Yeah. And then it calmly came back. Yeah. I mean, it did open quickly, but it wasn't like it blew and it hit the side of the house or anything. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a gust of wind. And it wouldn't shut that way. The way it shut, wind wouldn't do that.
No, it should have like slammed. If it was wind, it should have slammed both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just like,
right?
Oh my God.
Rank. You know?
We were walking into the kitchen because we were hearing noises. Like footsteps. Like we thought it felt like someone had just come home, you know, like they were just setting down the groceries, or they were, you know, in the kitchen doing something. And as we're walking through there, I want to say we even got an EVP at that time, didn't we?
I think you did, yeah. Though I can't remember what it was. But I think we did get an EVP of like maybe a woman's voice in that moment. But you know what? The door opening and shutting, cool, right? That's not what makes it my favorite, though. I'm a sick fuck. And the fact that the energy in that house fucking amplified to 1,000 after that door is what makes me... I will never forget that place. That door opening and shutting, I bet you $1 million we both would have been like, wow, that was the cool thing. Just like the cool ghost guy in the Limp Mansion. You know, that's a great picture. That's a great paranormal moment. No, what makes it super memorable is the energy that you felt in that house afterwards. And it felt bad.
Bad. It was dark. It was like a get the fuck out of here right now. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kick your ass. Something bad is about to happen. And I didn't want any part of it. And I was like, yes, sir, we are gone.
And that's the thing. So like in the James Eldred's house, it felt like one person behind me mad at me. This felt like the whole fucking house became alive. And the whole fucking thing was mad. It wasn't one person staring at us. It wasn't just coming from that door. The house just gave off an entire energy. Like it felt like an inferno all of a sudden.
Yeah, it did.
So we have to take a break from it, regroup ourselves. We come back in after a while and we're going to rearrange our cameras. So we're doing that quickly. And while we're in there, I'm like, wow, see, it feels totally different now. It feels fine. And I almost think to myself, maybe we just got really scared by the door and it was our energy vibrating through the house. But I go up the stairs. Chris is in a downstairs bedroom. I go up the stairs. I come down the stairs. I'm in the kitchen, wrapping around to get to Chris through the living room. And as soon as I face the living room, I stop in my tracks because it feels like there's someone. This feels like someone just standing in the living room, just staring. And at that time, it's a video actually, but there's an EVP on the video that says, "I'm following you."
Yep.
And watching that video today gives me chills because it is creepy. And I felt it at that very moment. I knew he, she, whatever, it sounds like a male, was there. And then there's this EVP to back it up.
Wow. Yeah. I do not like the Villisca Axe Murder House. I do not.
I have been to Sedona a couple of times, and there's supposed to be all these spiritual vortexes, right? And it's like you can just get into into the parking lot, and you're supposed to feel the vibration. Your balls are supposed to tingle, whatever. Yeah. That has never happened to me, honestly. I mean, I feel good. I enjoy being in nature, so I'm like, yes, it is beautiful here, but I don't feel my balls tingle or anything special. That house, that was something special. That was something different. Not good, but it was different to be able to feel that energy. I think for me, like for it to be my favorite, it has to be when you have that strong validation of that spiritual connection. And you could really only feel that. You know, looking at a picture or hearing an EVP isn't the same as being like, I felt them there.
Yeah, that's true.
And each of these locations gave that.